I'm supposed to talk to you about Rise today, as if Rise is something new. As a matter of fact, even if I didn't say a single word, Rise would still be what the company is all about. Let me explain. Because when we grew from a small two-man partnership to a multi-billion-dollar group, what were we doing? We were rising through opportunity. When we adapted the tractor engine and put it on a Jeep to beat the oil crunch in the 70s, what were we doing? We were rising to challenge. When we built the Scorpio at a cost nobody could believe, what were we doing? We were rising through self-belief. And when Nanhi Kali sends a girl to school, or when we groom an underprivileged child for a job at the Mahindra Pride School, what are we doing? We are rising. We are rising through inclusivity. When we plant 1 million trees, what are we doing? We are rising through sustainability. So to rise has always been a part of our DNA. That's the whole point. The only difference is that today we are realizing the power of it. We are articulating it. And we are building our entire future on it. So Rise has changed from a subtext to a headline. This happened, frankly, in a very unexpected way. A couple of years ago, when we were planning our US launch, we hired an American agency called Strawberry Frog to do our advertising. To get an insight into our company, they came to India. And after talking to a number of people, they turned to me and said, Anand, do you even know what you have here? You have the kind of company the entire world is looking for. At a time when people worldwide, and particularly in the West, are looking at business with an enormous amount of suspicion, after all, you must remember this was during the recession, your company comes across as full of integrity. It comes across as empowering its employees to do good things that bring in profits, but also that benefit the communities in which it operates. It comes across as being great and taking on challenges and constantly looking at things differently, looking at problems differently. Most important, it comes across as having a strong social conscience and being driven by the desire to make a positive difference to people's lives. People everywhere are wishing they had this kind of company to believe in. And the Mahindra Group, without any apparent effort, just by being what it is, completely fits the slot. Who we are is also our global brand. Can you imagine the power of that idea? Who we are is also our brand. And a brand that will appeal to people across the world. The 3 brand pillars, accept no limits, alternative thinking, and driving positive change, make sense to people across countries and cultures. This insight has come at a very crucial time in our journey towards growth and globalization, because I strongly believe that we are today at an immensely important inflection point in the Mahindra Group. We are at a momentous confluence of time and possibilities. There are 3 unique and separate streams coming together in an almost magical way. Firstly, the world is in a situation of discontinuous change. Just look at the way the giants of Wall Street collapsed in America. When there are such great changes, the future belongs to those who know how to harness the opportunities that such change brings. It's obvious now that we are getting very good at doing this. So good that we just made the highest profits in our history at a time when the world is pulling out of a recession. So we've learned how to ride discontinuity, and that is the first stream of the confluence. Then there's the second stream. Just as these discontinuous opportunities are merging globally, we as a group are slowly becoming a 21st century corporation with global aspirations. So 2 streams are meeting. We have learned the required skills and we are looking at the world as a potential marketplace. The third stream of the confluence is that the public perception of the Mahindra Group happens to be at an all-time high. The acquisition of Satyam, the publicity over SsangYong, both have propelled us to the forefront of public perception. And people are seeing us as an aggressive but well-governed group that has the courage to dare and the capability to deliver. So we are at a wonderful confluence of opportunity, capability, and reputation, which makes this the perfect time to take a quantum leap forward. This is the time to tell India and the world who we are. And as Strawberry Frog pointed out, who we are is Rise. Who we are is a potentially global brand. So what does Rise mean to us? I think it means looking forward to coming to work every morning. It means seeing our work as an intrinsic part of who we are and who we want to be. It means going home with the satisfaction of not just having done a good job, but also doing a job that impacts lives, that helps other people to rise. I tell you, I have the most fun at work when I know that what I do is driving positive change, that the customer we serve and the stakeholders we work with will say, "I'm glad I met Mahindra. They made a difference to my life." That's what it means to me, and I hope it will mean the same to everyone. But it's not enough to just talk about Rise. The idea of Rise has to be the cornerstone of everything we do. We have to live the brand. What this means is that when we plan to do something, it has to have a broader impact and embody the idea of Rise. Our thinking has to be driven by the idea of accepting no limits, thinking differently, and driving positive change. Our strategy must have the goal of profitably bringing about positive change. This may even affect the kinds of businesses that we choose to enter and exit. So all our internal and external processes have to be in sync with the idea of Rise. When we recruit, we have to look for an attitude that will be congruent with Rise. Our rewards and our promotions must also factor in the contribution to Rise. Our advertisements, our websites, our communications with the outside world, our service to the customer, all of these things have to be shaped by the idea of Rise. Our people must feel energized and empowered, and their behaviors must reflect the Rise principles automatically. Each and every one of us must be a ripple that creates a wider ripple, so that ultimately we can together bring about a sea of positive change. So Rise is not just another initiative. It is a cultural transformation. Rise is the ship on which we've embarked in our journey to become a global brand, and each of us is going to be a part of the crew. Rise is the philosophy that will shape us into the company of tomorrow. This is our moment in history. And when the history of the Mahindra Group comes to be written, we will look back at it and we will say, that was a historic moment. I was part of it. I was there. Welcome on board.